Welcome back to Upside DIY. So this is pretty much, this is a Life Gear um, flashlight. So the LED is actually orange or red. I used 3 batteries pretty much from these mirrors, these dental mirrors. So I took 3 out. There's batteries and LED lights. So just to test. Um, this is for the dental stuff. So I basically make small plastic trays like this. This stuff really helps into molding and taking molds of teeth and stuff. So I've got this plastic to actually make some more. It's only 1 bottle, but I'm making 2 sheets, and it's going to make a just to heat this plastic with water. I just get a frying pan and just add some clean water and then warm it up. It doesn't have to be too hot. Then I'm going to use the dish and a pair of pliers to hold the plastic more firmer. And then I'm going to warm up the plastic and then use the dish to kind of straighten it out. But this will actually warm up and reveal itself once the water gets dry or warm. So let me try to do that. Part of this dish. Oh, there you go. I basically had the heat on too small, so I'm going to try to get the other one. So I've got the other one right here, and it should just take a few seconds, just 1 or 2, and then pull it out. So it just took when the water is at a really good temperature, it just starts to kind of notice this piece of plastic does have a little bit of curve, so I need to trim that off. So the pan got really hot, but from the really curled up piece, it started to flatten out, and I also want to finish up on which side to really finish up the flattening. It's actually the inside of the plastic because the curve situation. So I've got it on the right side, and I just flatten it out using the metal dish that I have right here, which has a straight edge. So in my experience with working or melting this plastic, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I'm just going to have to pick out different sections, and eventually later on I could retouch up things when things are more controllable. It's just the pan got really hot. I'm not sure exactly where I was pinching on the corners, so a couple of these corners can be strained out and stuff. I could try to do that by hand real fast. Well, before this pan cools, I'm going to just hold it with my hand, and then just going to use the dish and try to straighten out the corners. So the pan is off, and then I strain out as much of the corners. The right side is being curled, or the opposite direction, the plastic is being curled. Corners are all pretty much, so it was really easy with the straight dish, pretty much with the straight line of this dish, which was, yeah, so I just held it, right at the edge with the dish, so I'll just have some tension and pressure, and just kind of held that there, and the heat started, and I basically bent 3 pieces of plastic, which is pretty good, and show you guys I've got to make a really good, it's actually is going to help the just handling the glue and stuff. It's going to keep things straighter and more workable. And I think I'm going to just do the whole process. So I've got this kind of situated towards the edge because I'm going to be using saran wrap next. So here's some saran wrap. It's just a regular sheet that I cut off, and then I'm going to cut this in half because alright, so I laid the saran wrap onto, and the template is underneath. And what I'm going to do is actually adjust this, and this goes on next, and then you put the molding material. So you kind of see how this template is. I'm going to make a full top row, so I'm going to cut off this piece, and try to get this more curved nicely. And I can make some more of these just because I have the templates. So I trimmed the piece of plastic, and then now I'm going, and I kind of line it up according to realign this large piece underneath, and then put this onto this. Should give a little space for the, and it's going to be like and things. And then now I could also know where things are, like where missing teeth are going to be, and then how big the mold. So now I'm going to mix up some of the molding material stuff and mix it into there. It's just a good amount of it, probably like a 1/3 of it, but it might be a little better during the drying and curing. So now I'm going to try to mix this up and then spread it onto parts of this mold. Then I'm going to go brush my teeth, and just in case, a mirror, just to make sure things, and front, just to help support and things. But I really want to try to get the back teeth formations. The front teeth aren't that hard, and they're already in this mold. Just up, and then it should fit in, like, some extra on the around the edges, because that's going to be the main kind of like a retainer and things like that. It's going to actually branch. So I got kind of like a dental tray right there, and this is supposed to be for the front left and things. I got a piece of plastic, and with how I want to fill this up, I've got pretty much the rest of the stuff I've been mixing up today, which is just caulk, which is actually like right here, some white caulk. I got a case of this. I wish I need clear, but using a lot of the white stuff. And then there's just this stuff left over. I mixed it with candle wax, just as a filler, but and a place, or somehow just for the silicone could stick and be a little bit more, that. So now I'm gonna just try to fold this in the plastic and then form a good wad, I guess. And doing this section by section. And I got the tray and things, so that's going to help me handle and know how much material I'm using. But doing the dental plate first in section, then the back right, top back right, which is this piece. This actually, is less pressure for beginners, just because doing the whole mold, just everything all in one go. It's not that easy, especially with this type of material. Maybe with a wax or something that hardens or 5-minute epoxy. So just wrap the front up first, and then try not to fold into the material. Give it a nice, tube, I would say. Finish folding up. And even with these trays that especially at this point where I made the mixing cup, and then I'm trying to manage, and then with this last piece I could actually tuck it. What I'm going to do, so I kind of tucked it on the inside. I didn't have to, but, and then now I'm just final position this mold. It's still soft and things like that. So, and as I mentioned, the outer ones could go above where this is. And when I put this in, I'm going to close my mouth and then try to take it out. These are going to, and there's a 2-liter bottle right there, so that it kind of holds a little bit of the concave. But I made a mold probably 3 weeks ago in the beginning of March 2025. I could trim off a little bit here and there, or even when this dry, it's still a little bit soft. I can actually, but it's got a good mold of my back teeth or some of the missing teeth on this full mold, and then I made a couple of side molds off a little bit here and there, or even when this dry, it's to help keep things in place. But I've also got other types of plastic, from a plastic bottle, 2-liter bottle, and things. Maybe some more extra curved pieces, other parts, but just regular plastic and things. I want to be able to make a sidewall that is going to be a a double thickness, so that when I pack, or and then I could probably attach it to a little bit of tape and things like that, and then I'm going to be able to fill in the whole the mold, and then it's going to basically, it just depends where on the mold I place these. I could even tape it down onto like a plastic tray, and then I've got some more of these plastic pieces underneath that I made originally for the curvature, but there's some more plastic pieces that are at a pretty good height. So with the final casting, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to make it higher than the stuff that, or the mold materials, just so that I get a lot of the mold, and then I'm going to be able to trim and kind of remove any excess and things. And it's also going to hold everything in place. And when I do this, having like a really good vacuum chamber, and then having a good resin, basically each millimeter could fit probably at least 1 or 2 teeth. So I really know, and I'm gonna have to center at least the front or the bottom, just have 0 and then left and right. So I got the extra paper for the, so I just need to take a measurement. It's not going to be a complete box connection unless it's just probably the cardboard. So yeah, like I mentioned, I think already, it might be, it was a little crooked, but I'm going to basically glue over a certain portion. So I think all these things need is actually, well, I'm gonna be gluing, or not gluing, but taping things together, and then gluing it to the box. And this is going to be pretty much with the ruler and separating certain pieces. These are just spare rulers that I could use. One metric, I guess. Try to pretty much measure out the grid pattern on this, and a ruler. And also, even with the millimeters, it's really tough to say if it matches exactly 1, 2, but just at the corner, that corner. So what I could do is actually well, yeah, so I could kind of remove the box and then make larger lines. So I kind of drew that line. I could also use any formed, but one more time and have a piece just for the top, or extra piece, if just with this piece of cardboard, just to be more realistic with what I'm dealing with. Basically have a lot of, so yeah, that's as straight to the edge as I can.